The foreign trips of President Bola Tinubu appears to be yielding positive results, with the recent visit of the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz to Nigeria. The German Chancellor's visit to Nigeria for the first time since assuming office in December 2021 lends credence to this fact. Part of the visit, which is aimed at strengthening the bilateral relations between the two countries, is also geared towards investment and economic empowerment. Both leaders met at the 18th G20 summit in India, where the German helmsman told President Tinubu that they acknowledged the business-friendly reforms the president had put in place while expressing his desire to visit Nigeria in October. Now, what will be the value and impact of the visit on the nation's economy? What other ways can Nigeria and Germany strengthen and improve their bilateral relations for mutual benefits? These are some of the questions that the guest is expected to provide answers to in the course of the program. This is Nigeria Today, and I am your carrier, Clinton. Welcome. Now, joining me in the studio to discuss the German Chancellor's visit to Nigeria is Dr. Adoyi Matthew Omali. He's a lecturer in international relations and diplomacy, Bayes University, Abuja. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Good evening, Eukarya.
Now, I will just go straight to the point. This visit of the German Chancellor, how important is it to Nigeria?
Yes, the visit is very, very important. Important in the sense that Germany is one of the G8 countries, one of the countries of the world that you can never reckon with when it comes to development. It's one of the industrial hub of Europe, and as such, for the Chancellor of Germany to be calling as one of the first presidents since the election of President Ahmed Tinubu to come to this country, it shows the level of respect. Our bilateral relationship with them has the shape it has taken since independence in 1960. Don't forget that our relationship with Germany even predates our independence in 1960. We have had a very close relationship. It's just our neighbors here, Cameroon, which part of Nigeria, which some part was part of Nigeria before the referendum in the late 50s, were colonized by Germany at some point before the French came in. So we have a very, very robust relationship with Germany. Statistics shows that our trade has been increasing tremendously in the last few years. By 2022, almost $3 billion in trade between the two countries. So we have had a very robust relationship, and the activities of German companies here in Nigeria, I think is one of the things that they are going to be discussing. Even under the Buhari government, Siemens a contract was signed. They were supposed to help us build our power sector. They were supposed to add about 25 megawatts to our electricity. And I think the project is ongoing. So we have a lot to tap from the Germans. Not to forget also our rich reserves of gas, which Germany needs at this point in time. And as the Chancellor has said, our bilateral relationship between the two countries will go very far as long as we continue to collaborate in the areas of trade, in the areas of exchanges, in the areas of technology transfer. We definitely need the Germans, and of course, you know the role Julius Berger is playing in Nigeria.
Okay, having said that, you mentioned trade. In what areas of the trade are we looking for, partnership with the Germans?
Oh, there are many areas that we are looking for in terms of trade. Germany, like I said, is a big industrial hub in Europe. Many of the large industries in terms of machines, tools, Germany is noted for producing those. Even the equipment such as construction equipment, bulldozers, machines, and so on, which we need to jumpstart or to fix our infrastructure. I earlier told you about our agreement with Siemens, Okay, of course, you know the role Julius Berger as a construction company is playing in our economy, constructing roads, building houses, skyscrapers, bridges, and so on across the country. Definitely, we need to strengthen this relationship. It is in the interest of the two countries. And of course, like everybody has been saying, the issue of migration, which is very critical to most Europeans now, they will need to partner with us, with a country like Nigeria, to be able to resolve these issues of migration. There are those that are going to Germany legitimately, not as illegal immigrants, to contribute to the growth of Germany. And both countries need to have a win-win situation to be able to solve those problems.
Now, looking at the critical stage we are right now in our economy, how urgent do we need this partnership, in your own opinion?
Well, the partnership with Germany has always been there. Like I said, we are almost the largest trading partner with Germany in sub-Saharan Africa, and it has been there. We're only believing that this bilateral visit will further enhance and consolidate and improve on this relationship, especially in the area of gas, natural gas. Many of our gas that we are producing in this country are not being harnessed, and that is why we are still talking about gas flaring. If we can collaborate with the Germans to harness our gas potential, supply them. As a result of the Russia-Ukraine war, Russians are one of the highest suppliers of gas to Europe, including Germany. And with this war now, it is incumbent on countries like Nigeria to fill the void. So this visit is an opportunity for us to diversify our economy into the gas sector. If we can negotiate an acceptable agreement between Nigeria and Germany, so that we can get a large chunk of their market that has been disrupted as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war. That will be a big plus to our economy, to the Nigerian economy, and it's a plus to the government of President Ahmed Tinubu.
Another thing that was talked about, the German Chancellor, when he came, he talked about expanding support for the Nigerian military and, of course, the police, and also boost their fight against terrorism in Nigeria. How well do you think we need this collaboration?
Well, we definitely need this collaboration because in global security, you need all the intelligence you can get. You need all the infrastructure for you to be able to track these criminals or track these terrorists. You need all the equipment to be able to fight these terrorists. And Germany has a lot to offer in all these three areas that I've mentioned. Germany, as of course you know, from the times of the Second World War, they have been one of the highest manufacturers of military hardware, military equipment. And supporting us with this equipment will go a long way in this fight against insurgency, against terrorism in Africa and in Nigeria. So we need to collaborate with them. They have also been supporting a lot of trainings, even in the area of military training. We can benefit from their intervention. So I think since they are discussing in the areas of intervention, we might need some even protective armored personnel carriers to be able to protect our military personnel that are out there in the field trying to fight the insurgency, especially in the northeast, and bandits even in the northwest. Even the farmers' herders clashes in the north central. We will need some of these protective vehicles, German protective vehicles, and it will be a good plus if we can enter into a strategic military equipment supply between us and them. Certainly, they are a force to be reckoned with when it comes to production of military equipment, and we must leverage on this this bilateral visit to be able to get some of those concessions. Even if it means donating, it will be a plus to our military, especially in terms of ammunition and equipment, militarily.
What about the information? They talked about information and communication technology. Quite a lot of areas here they are talking about.
Yes, Germany.
Cooperation.
I told you that Germany is one of the most technologically advanced countries, not just in Europe but in the world. Its industrial base is amazing in virtually every field, whether ICT, whether manufacturing, whether military equipment, and so on. So they are one of the most technologically, scientifically advanced countries of the world. And definitely, if we really need to partner with them, especially if we are serious about starting our adopting technology from those climes and situating it within our own environment, then we really need to partner with them. And they should be willing also to give assistance to us so that we can produce some of these goods, some of this equipment, manufacture them locally through our collaboration with them. They can equally set up such factories or businesses in this country, and that will attract foreign direct investment. And by extension, we are going to benefit from this partnership. If German companies like Siemens and, like I said, Julius Berger and others are operating freely here, there's no reason why more should not be able to come. And there's no reason why our Nigerian investors too should not be able to invest in Germany and make good money for the benefit of our economy.
All right, we'll take a short break. This is still Nigeria Today. We'll take a short break and listen to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz during the visit. Stay with us.
We are fighting terrorism, and that is improving. We still need very much support in that area. And for us to be able to sustain democracy, rule of law, and freedom for our people, we need to fight for democracy. And democracy must win at all times.
We see that a lot of investments have to be taken looking at infrastructure, and it's not just about roads and railways. It is also about electricity, the infrastructure, using the grid, making feasible that all the produced energy, all the power that is already there could go to the people because the grid is making it. And finding a way how we can develop economy in this field will be also important.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and that was the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of course the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz during his visit to Nigeria. And of course, my guest is still here with me, an international affairs analyst. Now, you had what the president said. How important, he mentioned something, fighting for democracy, because we need democracy to have more of these kinds of, cooperation and collaboration. Tell us, how important is it for us to fight for our democracy?
Yeah, the choice of Nigeria as one of the countries the German Chancellor is to visit during this visit to Africa. The choice of Nigeria was not just deliberate. Nigeria has a lot on the card. We are one of the longest democracies so far, since 1999, uninterrupted, and it speaks volume. So the Western world is beginning to see us as a democratic country within the African continent, which is very good for us. Secondly, to me, one of the reasons for the choice of Nigeria is because, just like Germany is one of the most populated countries in Europe, Nigeria is one of the most populated country in Africa with 200 million people. I think Germany has about 80 million or thereabout people. So you see the huge similarity between us and the Germans, and it was deliberately that they chose Nigeria as a country that they want to partner with. They want to build the relationship with, principally because we are the largest economy in Africa. And there's nothing you want to do in Africa that you can throw away Nigeria. Apart from just being large, the largest economy, and apart from our population and the strategic role we have been playing in Africa, Nigeria has abundant natural resources, like I told you, like gas and even crude oil. But above all, like the Germans are now saying, that we should leverage on diversifying our oil resources by going into hydrogen, production of hydrogen, which is for the future. And with what the Germans are saying, if they can partner with us to develop our hydrogen resources, it will still add more impetus to our economic development. So the choice of Nigeria was not just a choice for the sake of it. It was a strategic, diplomatic move that has been made by the Germans and also by the Nigerian government, so that the two countries can benefit, because it's going to be a mutual partnership bilaterally. And I think the two countries are moving in the right direction.
So how can we take advantage of these visits these collaboration to improve our agricultural sector? Because one of the things he also said is they said there was potential for greater cooperation and investment between the two countries in other sectors such as the agricultural business. Of course, you've mentioned the mineral resources, transport and logistics, of course, security. So now we are looking at having, food security. We are working towards food security. So how can we use this relationship to improve our agricultural sector?
Yeah, the Germans have a lot to offer us in that regard. Like I said, the world is moving into mechanized agriculture. Mechanized agriculture is about having the tools and implements. Germany can help support us to develop our own indigenous farm implements, tractors, harvesters, graders, and so on. We can leverage on that. They can also assist us in building irrigation dams so that we can have all-year farming. We can also collaborate with them in terms of producing pesticides and other pest control mechanisms that could assist our local farmers. Above all, we can collaborate with them by sourcing funding for some of our agricultural policies, which will go a long way in assisting the local economy. And above all, we can learn from what they are doing right, how they are fixing their agricultural system, and try to replicate the same here in Nigeria. And that is because Germany is a very, very advanced economy. It's a very, very advanced country. And our partnership with them will definitely benefit these countries. Even in the area of storages, how to store our production. Because one of the problems with our agricultural value chain is the issue of wastages. How do we preserve, how do we store products that even our local farmers are producing? Tomatoes, onions, these are perishable goods. How do we establish facilities that can warehouse? How do we get fresh vegetables? How do we preserve them? Yams and other seedlings. So in these areas, we know that the Germans can be of tremendous help outside provision of these implements. They can also help us to develop our storage facilities to be able to facilitate export of these products and also for local consumption. Even in the area of animal husbandry, especially cattle rearing, as we are talking about ranches, which will have a direct impact to solve the issues of farmer-herders clashes. So there's a lot of ways that we can benefit from this partnership in the area of agriculture. And I think the government is moving on the right path. We cannot do it alone. We cannot do everything on our own. We definitely need to build partnership with other nations of the world. We definitely need to learn what are they doing that we can replicate in our own place. And they too, what are we doing that they can learn from us? Because in a bilateral relationship, in a bilateral diplomatic relation, everybody benefits in one way or the other. And the negotiations are tailored in such a way that each of the parties will want to see that in this relationship, how do they leverage on the relationship to improve their economy? And I think Nigeria is doing very well. If all they are talking about and all they have discussed and what we have heard our president and the president of Germany say, if they can actualize it and implement it, it will boost the Nigerian economy and also the German economy. On the issue of democracy that our president harped on, democracy is a process that is ongoing. I know that the EUs gave a lot of support to INEC. They also gave a lot of, Germany is one of the strong countries within the EU. So at that level, Germany can also move to also support and mobilize other European countries to continue to support our democratic system. So I think it is good. Our democracy needs this type of shocks, this type of support, this type of assurances, this type of which the Germans have extended to us. And we are thinking that going forward, we will continue to grow, our democracy will continue to develop, our agricultural sector will continue to develop through this type of bilateral talks, through this type of bilateral discussions that the Germans have has brought to us.
Now, another important thing that happened during his visit was his visit to the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Torre. And of course, which is natural, some of the talks that came up, of course, would definitely involve the recent coup in parts of Africa. What does this mean to the Commission?
Yes, don't forget that Nigeria houses the headquarters of ECOWAS. And I discussed with somebody the other day, say, Nigeria is ECOWAS. So when you are talking to Nigeria, you are talking to ECOWAS. However, his visit to the ECOWAS Commission is to also underscore the importance of regional partnership. I think that point needs to be made, that for we to develop within this sub-region, we need to forge a synergy. And the Germans, in as much as Nigeria constitutes almost more than half of ECOWAS, it's still very important that we can continue to build partnership with other neighbors. And ECOWAS must be at the driver's seat of this development, especially against the backdrop of the recent coup in Niger and some of the ECOWAS contiguous countries to the ECOWAS. I think it's to underscore the point that democracy is still the best way to go, and that ECOWAS as a body must continue to promote the tenets of democracy within the sub-region. ECOWAS is doing a lot, has done a lot, and still have opportunity of doing a lot. So the visit to ECOWAS by the German Chancellor is still a right step in the right direction. And I think ECOWAS have a lot to offer to the sub-region.
Of course, he was even on a 3-day visit to the African countries. Ghana would be his next point of call from what we gathered. And that's it on Nigeria Today. A very big thank you to our guest, Dr. Adoyi Matthew Omali, an international affairs analyst. He's also a lecturer in the Department of International Relations and Diplomacy, Bayes University, Abuja. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Sharing your thoughts with us. And thank you for being part of the program. Don't forget, Nigeria Today airs weekday at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can watch this episode and others on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Once again, thank you for watching. I am your carrier, Clinton. Goodbye.